Today we are going to talk about all of the announcements made at Discover, and we've got two great speakers for you today. First up is going to be John Galatea from Converge. He is the Regional Vice President of the West. He's going to give us an introduction to Converge. And then we're going to bring on George Cassels, who is the North American Industry Pre-Sales Leader for HPE. With that, I'm going to throw it to John to get us kicked off.
Awesome. Thank you, Annie. Give me 1 second while I get things queued up. All right. Can everyone see my screen? Yeah?
Yes.
Good deal. So thank you for the introduction. Once again, my name's John Galatea. I'm the Vice President of Sales for the West for Converge. And today I'm just going to take you through a little bit of the history of Converge and how we kind of came together over the last 8 years, and what we're good at as a company and how we think we differentiate ourselves in the market. So just stand by as I walk you through that. So as I mentioned, we formed the company about 8 years ago now. And the idea behind the company was to bring in regional expertise from major cities across North America and Europe, and integrate those areas of expertise to formulate a comprehensive sort of end-to-end IT solutions portfolio. And so over the last 8 years, we've acquired 35 companies across North America and Europe. And through that have gained 60 global offices, over 500 salespeople, and 1,500 technical resources. And more importantly, we have over 1,000 certifications and many customers, 4,000 plus customers, which gives us a good viewpoint, number one, around what's happening in the market, what the trends are in the market, so that when we're talking to our customers, we can help them navigate their business problems. But also we have a number of technical resources, actually a 3-to-1 ratio. If you see up in the upper or right-hand side of your screen, that 3-to-1 ratio of 500 sellers to 1,500 technical resources puts us in a very unique, differentiated position with our customers in helping them navigate business problems. So we want to be more than just a transactional vendor for our customers. We want to be able to have intelligent conversations around the technology that we represent. And those certifications and solutions architects that you see here help us be better prepared to have conversations with our customers around these things. The other thing to note is all of these North American locations, many of them have localized warehousing. So we have the ability to offer a North American and globalized warehousing function that I'll get into later when we start talking about our strategy around our engineering. So stand by as I move to the next slide. These 7 pillars here that you're looking at are the areas that we are good at. We have engineering resources behind it, and we're engaging our customers on a daily basis and can deliver in these areas. So when somebody asks us about what are you good at, instead of saying everything, which is not the case, we're good at these things, really good at these things. So when you think about advanced analytics, the advanced analytics areas where we're helping customers define budgets. So for example, if you're looking at trying to figure out and look at different data sources for how do I design a budget for this year, right? How much am I going to spend on my IT? Where am I at in my overall spend? What was my spend last year, the year before, and the year before? And how do I project out how we're going to grow over time? Our analytics team is engaging our customers and helping them understand and visualize ways to optimize their business and improve how they go to market in a more intelligent way. So this may apply to financial. It could apply to also the products that they're selling or producing or offering the market. In the artificial intelligence, this is an area where it's gained a lot of press and notoriety as of late in the generative AI space. We've been in this artificial intelligence business for the last 8 years. The addition most recently is the natural language query generative AI piece to it. But we've helped our customers navigate multiple data sources to gain insights into their business and to drive decision making around the best ways to go to market. And also with predictive analytics. And actually, more recently, we're engaging our clients in generative AI workshops and helping the customers understand, how do I leverage generative AI to drive more efficiency in my business, or to go in new directions that actually enhance our overall revenue and profit. In the app modernization space, we help our customers with observability and automation and the orchestration. We have on staff, programmers who understand how to code in Kubernetes and help in the DevOps area. This is a very, very important part of our overall offering, and we have extensive resources in this area. In the cloud platforms area, we partner with all three of the big hyperscalers and help our customers migrate applications to and from the cloud. We help them secure applications in the cloud. We help them optimize the cloud. So optimizing spend is a big topic that we have of conversation that we have with our customers today. We can also help with governance. So a lot of customers that we have are public institutions and need to manage to certain profiles. So help them with that in that area in cloud platforms. The cybersecurity, and I've been in this business for 30 years, our cybersecurity offering is top-notched. When I talk about a extensive and deep cybersecurity engineering team, I come to that from a position of experience and seeing what others are doing in this space. So we have an extensive team of W-2 engineers who understand how to help you with vulnerability testing, penetration testing, incident response, developing a cybersecurity strategy. What are things? Where are the vulnerabilities in our strategy? How do we work through our strategic staffing? For example, many of our customers need help, either temporary or full-time, in terms of helping them manage their cybersecurity, or they don't want to do that and they want to have us actually help them through virtual CISO or virtual help desk manage their security services and offerings. So we have lots of different areas where we can assist our customers in the cybersecurity journey within their own companies. The digital infrastructure space, this is an area where we're strong, where we think about data centers, server, storage, networking, backup, firewall policies. All of those things fall into the digital infrastructure pillar, and is an area of strength for us, as well as multi-site deployment. And then the last piece is in our digital workplace. This is where we help our customers with voice and unified communication. Think about video teleconferencing in conference rooms, virtual desktop solutions from someone like Microsoft, and end user compute, like services around lifecycle management. So think about we've acquired a couple of different companies in end user technology who can help with laptop deployments, lifecycle management of laptops, asset destruction certificates, global resourcing or warehousing of gear, spare strategies. Those types of things fall into our digital workplace. And all of this is supported by a foundation of our AIM strategy, which is the advise, implement, and manage. And I'll start with the advise part of this because it's the most important. So when you think about our ratio of engineers to salespeople, this is where we demonstrate our ability to put ourselves in a trusted resource or a trusted partner position with our customers. Because we have the engineering teams available, we can help you develop bills of materials and help you navigate towards the right architectures and give you the right direction when you have multiple decision-making criteria to solve a business problem. So the way we go to market with our heavy engineering resource puts us in a great position to help our customers through transformation and help them drive towards solutions. When we get to the implementation phase, this is an area where we have extensive post-sales resources. So this is where we help our customers with scoped business, fixed price business, or we can work with you in time and material. We also have our own on-staff technical recruiters to help you find technical resources that might be necessary for you to actually go through the implementation process. Think short-term resource or long-term resource. We can help you navigate that. Also, integration support, staging in our North American warehouses, where we do pre-config, asset tagging, racking, stacking, cabling, all of those things, and then we're able to distribute those across to your North American locations. And the last piece is the managed piece, which is the piece that is our managed services offering. We have over 500 people on this particular team. This is where we help our customers with, I talked about security operations center, network operations center, managed service desks. These are the types of things that we can do in our managed services offering. And we have many of our customers engaging with us to help them through that managed piece. And then I guess the last piece to tie back to the Discover and what have you learned, what we got out of it, a few things to mention about our partnership with HPE. Our partnership spans over 21 years. So we've been a partner with HPE, both selling and implementing HP products for over 20 years. So we have a lot of experience. We're recognized by HPE as a platinum partner, which is the highest tier partner that HPE has in their partner network. That's important. And it's not just because we sell a lot of HPE, it's because they recognize partners who have invested in putting their engineering teams and their selling teams through certifications so that we can actually represent HPE and actually understand how to implement HPE products. So that recognition as a platinum partner is a really important piece. We are a Zerto Gold partner. Also, the highest certification was Zerto in the backup space. We were named the North American Storage Partner of the Year for HPE, which is a great honor. I was actually in Vegas to receive that award with the team. And then we were Partner of the Year with HPE for a number of years. You'll see those years listed here. From an executive level perspective, we're engaged at the very highest levels, from Heiko Meyer all the way down, and even at the CEO level. I personally am one of the HP sponsors, executive sponsors, so I have good, solid relationships across the organization, and I feel like we're really working well together as partners in the marketplace. We also are a partner ready Vantage solution partner. What that means is we can actually provide HPE skewed installation and services. So that's another area of pride that we have, that we've been recognized and able to do that for HPE. And then we have an innovation lab where we have lots of different demonstrations of HP products that are propped up in the storage, compute, and edge solutions, and soon in the private cloud AI area. So that's an area that's going to be coming soon. So that kind of wraps up the just quick overview of Converge and the HP partnership. I'm going to hand it back over to Annie for our next speaker.
Thanks, John. So now we're going to turn it over to George from HPE.
All right, let me get off mute here. You'll have to forgive me. It's been a minute since I've used WebEx. So hello, everybody. John, funny thing is, I love being a technical people leader. The fact that you have such a ratio of technical people to salespeople, that makes my heart happy. So I think that's a great strategy, and I think it's a great way to go after things. So for those of you that I've never gotten to meet or talk to before, my name is George Cassels. I'm the North America Industry Pre-Sales Leader. What does that mean? I'm the pre-sales leader. All the technical people report to me that cover retail and insurance, telco, CSP, manufacturing, oil and gas, and others. So again, those are the top accounts like Bank of America, Home Depot, things like that. So I'm very happy to be with you today, and I'm going to cover what was announced at Discover. But we're also going to start off by talking about Alletra MP, and there's a reason why. But then we'll cover PCAI, as John talked about. He's going to add it to their innovation lab, and our virtualization capability we announced at Discover. And the reason why I'm starting with Alletra MP is each one of the other solutions I'm going to talk about are back-ended by Alletra MP, whether that be for block or file. Okay, so I'll explain that more as we go through it. But why did we make that change? Let me see if I can get this out of the way. We made this change because we really want to start by telling you what a connected experience is. We want to provide organizations with a seamless, unified management capability. So we want you to be able to do everything you need to do from a storage perspective, from a single pane of glass, and get rid of these silos, whether it be from edge to cloud. And that's for, again, all your storage infrastructure management, but also the other related data services. And we do that via our DSCC, what we call DSCC, is Data Services Cloud Console. And DSCC is a SaaS offering that provides organizations with a cloud operational agility, but in a simplified management interface and console. And this is a tile representation of DSCC. And again, the goal is to provide simplified common services experiences in that single pane of glass, whether that be manage your block or file. And then we wanted to provide a disaggregated offering, right? And we do that by using a common Alletra MP platform that allows you to increase performance or capacity independent of each other. And then again, we want to make sure that we provide you all your data services and things like backup and data protection. And we also want to make sure you have a seamless upgrade experience. So regardless of what you're upgrading, you should be able to do it through this console without having to go to each piece and part of your storage infrastructure. We also recognize that our customer needs our unified data ops. HPE architected the answer with DSCC. By definition, an intelligent data platform is a cloud-native architecture that includes unified cloud data services to manage the entire data lifecycle from edge to cloud, but it also has to provide cloud infrastructure services to include that operational agility and the AI for autonomous operation. And we try to do this in an as-a-service offering. So because it's part of our GreenLake console, on our GreenLake cloud offering, we do that again as a consumption-based model. So let's start with the basics, and I always like to start with why, right? And we want to get out of the practice of building specialized hardware for each individual storage solution. We also wanted to make sure we provided a common disaggregated hardware platform. Again, something that allows me to either increase my performance or increase my capacity without having to do both. And we should be able to overlay different personas over that common hardware platform. And I like to think of Alletra MP as building blocks. And in those building blocks, I can then overlay those personas, whether that be block, file, or soon to be object. And this is going to allow me to scale from something very small into a JBOF system where I can provide more capability to a fully switched infrastructure where I can have multi-performance nodes and capacity nodes all within the same solution. One of the storage personas we support is GreenLake for block storage. And the disaggregated nature of our Alletra MP solution allows massive parallelization because all the nodes are active, right? It's not an active passive scenario. And the more performance nodes I add, the greater the throughput. The other big key, because of this disaggregated nature, is that we can provide 100% guarantee of availability. The other storage persona we utilize is around our GreenLake for File solution. And our GreenLake for File storage provides an organization with a solution that allows data-intensive workloads like AI to be able to utilize our enterprise-grade and scale-out file storage. With this solution, you can accelerate your data initiative workloads and through a simplified management structure and operations. A lot of people have heard about this and they know about our partnership with VAST, but having it built on top of our Alletra MP platform where we can scale, again, performance and capacity independently is key. So now that I've kind of talked about the back end of how we're providing storage capabilities inside our private cloud for AI and for our virtualization solution, I want to kind of pivot and move to private cloud for AI. Now, you might be wondering, why does George have a picture of Legos inside his deck? Well, because this is very much like AI. You could go to a Lego store and you could buy each individual brick to build this TIE fighter right here, right? But you have to be careful. You'd have to understand color. You'd have to understand form and how I need to shape things. I would have to worry about hinges, buying the stuff to build my lightsaber and Darth Vader, or I could buy this kit. And the kit's going to come with everything I need, and it's going to come with instructions. And why does that matter? Because in the world of AI, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of options. And in those options, it can kind of cause chaos, like you see with all these pieces of Legos and different parts that are being built here. Now, the sad reality of it is that although a lot of organizations want to move at breakneck speeds to get to AI, only about 1 in 10 ever make it from pilot to production. And there's several reasons why. First, AI requires access to high quality data. It's data hungry, right? But it needs good quality data or you'll get unpredictable results. The other thing is most organizations are not manned to have the people to be able to maintain or run AI workloads. IT sections also don't have the ops capability to be able to do the flexibility of what AI requires. Most IT ops organizations are very strict and stringent and have very set processes, where AI is more almost like the wild, wild west and requires a lot of flexibility. When those two don't line up, it can cause headbutts and chaos. The other big thing is it's hard to show ROI, right? When you look at AI, typically it requires a large upfront capital investment, and it's hard to show ROI because although it helps me with productivity, it doesn't necessarily solve a business problem. And that can be a challenge. And then because of that large upfront capital investment, a lot of times, it's even harder to show ROI. So how are we dealing with that? Well, the way we're dealing with that is we co-engineered and joint go-to-market with Nvidia around what we're calling PC AI, right? And the whole goal is to provide faster time to value, right? Get more things out of pilot into production so that we can utilize it faster. And again, we're doing that through our private cloud for AI, which is a turnkey solution. These things show up fully cabled, fully racked, ready for you to implement. And we'll talk about that more in a second. This slide I'm showing here is what I consider a framework. So on the left here, we start with services. Now, these services can be provided by HPE or with somebody like Converge through our third-party partner system. As far as the infrastructure, we're utilizing Nvidia GPUs. That's the Lovelace line and the Hopper line, and those would be in inside our AI optimized servers. We also have capability to use either Ethernet or NVLink capability and provide networking through one of those two systems. And then we back end the solution with our Alletra MP with HPE for GreenLake file solution. From a software perspective, we offer the full enterprise product suite, enterprise AI product suite, along with what we refer to as HPE AI Essentials, which I'll talk about more in a bit, and our data lakehouse capability. And then we provide models you can download from NVIDIA or through GitHub. Over here is more of the operational plane. I think, and I'll talk more about this in a minute, this being able to monitor and have observability of this solution is one of the key differentiators between us and what our competitors do. We also have a full VM and Kubernetes runtime capability, as well as, if you haven't heard, we announced the intent to acquire Morpheus, which we were already a Pathfinder investor in, and that's going to give us a lot more integration with workload provisioning and orchestration. And then we're providing a full IT asset lifecycle management capability as part of that. And we're going to offer straight out of the gate 3 t-shirt sizes. Next year, you'll see us add an extra large to this early next year, but right now, we're coming out the gate with 3 t-shirt sizes. The interesting thing is that we also tell you which use case it might be best used for based off that t-shirt size. The other interesting thing we're doing is we're working with Nvidia on a token calculator, so you as organizations can look and see when is that inflection point between being able to run things in the cloud or where it's better to utilize them on-prem. So we're providing them our costing for each of our t-shirt sizes at the low and high end, so that you can make informed decisions on when it might be a good idea to rebalance things and run certain aspects on-prem and certain aspects still in the CSPs. And when we look at AI, we think that there's 4 key perspectives you need to consider. And it's funny because John covered some of those in what Converge does. We first think you have to assess your organizational readiness. And do you have the right skills? Are the people at the right skill level? And do you have the right processes in place to be able to support AI? We also think you have to evaluate your data center's connectivity. If you do not have the right power or cooling, that's when we can start talking to you about maybe considering a colo or whatever. We also have to consider the security needs of the AI solution. This is a huge one. A lot of people overlook this. You have to have a good data foundation. You have to make sure you have full access to all your data, regardless whether it lives on the edge, in your data center, in the colo, or in the CSPs. And then I kind of touched on this earlier. We need to make sure up front we have a good use case, because if we don't have a good use case down and cemented in and locked in and solidified, we're going to end up in a situation where it's going to be harder to show that time to value, that ROI that comes along when we start asking for more money from our bosses. As I get ready to transition into kind of the demo aspect of this solution, we think there's 4 key elements you have to consider. And the first one we're going to talk about is the out-of-box experience. And as I show you this is, if you've never seen it before, this is our GreenLake Cloud Console. And what we're going to focus on is launching our private cloud AI solution. When I click on that, remember, these come out of the factory, rack stack cabled and ready to go. So if there's any lapse in time from the time we ship it out to the time you install it, we go ahead and install and validate all the components. But then we go ahead and upgrade everything so we can make sure everything's up to date without you having to go through each component to do that. Once that's done, I can then launch the PC AI console. Now that I'm in there, I'm going to go to Tools and Frameworks. And what I'm going to do here is highlight all the things that come inside of the Nvidia AI Enterprise. And for those that don't know, the NeMo umbrella is basically an end-to-end platform for developing generative AI, and it includes cutting-edge curation with Curator. It allows cutting-edge customization of your generative AI solutions with Customizer. This one's really cool. It's an evaluator. It evaluates the accuracy of your LLM. The retriever aspect allows you to implement RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. And when it comes to guardrails for AI, it serves as a framework designed to ensure AI systems operate within legal, ethical, and functional parameters that you set. And I'll demonstrate that a little later in this demo. And then NIMS is a set of easy-to-use inferencing microservices that allow us to deploy AI workloads either on-prem or in the CSP while keeping our data secure. Now, if I come up here and click under Data Science, That's going to allow me to see the open source tooling that I'm utilizing. And this is where what we call our private cloud AI essentials. And this is loosely, it's basically based on our unified analytics platform. And we have certain ones already in here that we've basically validated and installed, but we've also left this open and extensible. So you could click on this import framework, and as long as the container system has a Helm chart, which is nothing more than letting you know how containers should run in a Kubernetes environment, you can add it into this open source framework. From there, what I want to show you is data engineering. And under data engineering, this is where we would show you our data lakehouse capability with our data fabric solution. And this is a graphical representation of our data fabric solution and a global namespace. What I love about this is not HPE agnostic, right? Or I'm sorry, HPE specific. This is agnostic. You can support this on not just HPE hardware, but also other vendors' hardware like Dell or Supermicro. It'll also allow you to see all the things you have as far as data from your edge to your data center to colo to cloud. So as you can see, I'm showing a data lake and an S3 bucket in AWS here. So again, making sure you have broken down the silos of your data and make sure you have access to all your data so we can properly train your models. The second thing, although it's listed as experiment in this, is around experimenting and deploying AI, because AI is great, but we still need an application most of the time to front end that. So in this scenario, I'm going to show you how we're going to deploy a virtual assistant. Now, when I click on that button, it's going to go ahead and install all the components for my virtual assistant. I can then deploy the app and open the app. Now, I'm going to go ahead and type in, why is private cloud preferred for many AI workloads? Now, keep in mind, when I submit this, we've done nothing to train this model. So it's going to come back and say, I'm not familiar with private cloud. The easy fix here, so I don't have to get into any heavy training or optimization, is to go ahead and implement RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload 4 PDFs around private cloud. Once I do that, I enable RAG, and then I resubmit my question. Why is private cloud preferred for many AI workloads? Well, this time when I hit enter, it brings me back my data points and even shows me which document it pulled that from. Now, what if I want to go ahead and see or apply guardrails? Again, remember, guardrails are nothing more but setting up and making sure my AI solution runs in ethical, legal, and functional parameters that I set. So I'm going to implement guardrails here, and I'm going to ensure that we are not going to allow any private information to be shared through our virtual assistant, even if it has access to it. So I basically submit a question asking what our CEO's social security number is. When I submit that, it comes back and says, I'm sorry, I cannot assist with that because it's not allowed sharing personal data. Now, what if I have developers that want to either customize this or see how we programmed it? They can come in here and edit and see the Juniper notebook and see all the parameters of what's been configured to make this run, and they can edit it straight from here to customize it for your organizational needs. The next big thing we're going to talk about is operations, ladies and gentlemen, and I truly believe this is going to be one of the biggest differentiators for HPE, because if I'm honest, Dell has an AI factory that utilizes Nvidia AI Enterprises. Cisco has an AI solution that uses Nvidia AI Enterprise and even has a file solution similar to ours to back end for the storage. But what they don't have is what I'm about to show you, ladies and gentlemen. And this is based off our OpsRamp acquisition. And if you haven't heard of it, it's a hybrid observability platform that allows me to monitor and see all things from my edge data center colo cloud across multiple vendors, not just HPE. You can monitor Dell, Supermicro, Cisco. You can monitor CSPs with it. Again, it's a hybrid observability platform. But what this allows us to do is see metrics around AI. But not just that, it allows us to visually see the workflow of our AI application. And we can see the individual workloads that are involved in this workflow. So if I click on show infrastructure, I can then see all the containers that make up the different pods that are inside the cluster that support the different workloads inside my workflow. I can then click and show the GPUs and CPUs that are involved in supporting those clusters. From there, I can even click down more and see the networking and storage that are involved inside supporting this workflow. Now, what happens if I suddenly see my application start running poorly? I can go over here and click on this Copilot and start interacting with this without involving any administrators to see how I can fix this. So I can ask a question or give a prompt to this is nothing more than another large language model built inside our solution. I can submit and say, why is my application running slow? When I do that, it comes back and says, hey, there's been an increase in HTTP requests across these two services, which is causing higher than normal latency. I can then submit and say, how can I fix this? Once I do that, it comes back and says the probable cause is that we're running low on CPU and memory. I say, sounds good, let's fix it. It asks me to confirm. Once I do that, it goes ahead, and as you can see up here, ladies and gentlemen, it paused the application. It then starts increasing the capacity by 50%. Once that happens, it doubled the CPUs, the GPUs, and memory, and it also increased the amount of clusters inside that pod or that cluster so that I can handle the increase in the HTTP requests. Once it's done, it restarts the application, and then it shows that my application is running normally. Again, the key takeaway here is that involved no administrator involvement to make that happen. Now, you could obviously, this is a lot of about OpsRamp. It has 2,500 integrations across different vendors, including, like I said, different competitors and also cloud providers, but it also allows me to have integration with my ITOM system like ServiceNow. So you can set up all this automation because it's, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about meantime, decreasing mean time to resolution and providing a better service level. Lastly, it's around security and governance. Now, I know CrowdStrike took a bad black eye in what happened with on that Friday when we lost a lot of airline services and everything. What they've done though around behavioral analytics, because if you think about the way security used to be, where it was all based off of incident, coming up with a signature, and you really had to wait till the incident to develop the signature. Well, now with what CrowdStrike and others have done around behavioral analytics, it allows me to detect responses, either imminent threats or ongoing threats, faster without a signature. So it's about monitoring behavior. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check for resource misconfiguration and also indicators of attack. And again, that's going to allow me to proactively focus on identifying suspicious activities and behavior that could indicate the presence of ongoing or imminent cybersecurity attacks. And then I can go ahead and dig deeper and see the over 35,000 detections it's done around misconfiguration or indicators of attack. And I can see what is interacting with my large language model or my virtual assistants that's running on my platform, my PC AI platform. And the best thing about things like this is this allows you to see the interaction, and these service maps also allow us to do incident correlation, so we can reduce noise on the wire, so we're not getting so many basically indicators or reports back, so that we can basically again get faster mean time to resolution. So what that allowed me to do, kind of walking you through that, is kind of show you the key elements that we believe are going to be very important as people look at AI and consider things like private cloud for AI. So again, we can get things out of pilot into production faster. So with that, I'm going to transition over and talk about what we announced around our virtualization capability for private cloud. And unless you've been living under a rock, you know, many organizations are concerned with their rising costs when it comes to VM management, and they're considering other alternatives to see if they can identify possible substitutes for what they might currently be using. So at Discover, we announced an all HPE virtualization stack utilizing our HPE Greenlight Private Cloud Business Edition so that customers can manage their DHCI, which is disaggregated HCI system, as well as their VMware VMs and their HPE VMs, all through our DSC, our Private Cloud for Business Edition console. At launch, what we're going to do is we're going to support 3 highly available nodes inside a high availability cluster. Now, these will come out of the factory preloaded so that they're ready to be instantiated into this highly available cluster via an easy-to-use setup wizard. We will also provide tight integration because this is an all HPE solution from networking to servers to storage. We're going to have tight integration between our SaaS-based management platform with PCBE and the components that make up the solution. Because we're back-ending this with Alletra MP, this is going to give us capability to support all workloads. So if you ever try to set up, VMware with vSAN, a lot of times you had to be very careful about the drive makeup to make sure you can support that workload. Well, because we're back-ending this with a real storage array, you should see an increase in performance and efficiency because of that. The other big thing that I wanted you to see here is that, we've obviously, because of the Morpheus acquisition, we're going to have cloud-based orchestration and management. But the other big thing on the slide and why I left it in here is because one of the other big announcements at Discover is the ability to run our Alletra MP storage software for block storage software up in AWS. So that would allow organizations to be able to run our VMs, whether that be VMware or ours, on our PCBE platform and utilize AWS as a DR or backup site by replicating that data there, utilizing our software-defined storage solution. And again, it's all about providing a lower optimized cost. And this is kind of the framework that make up our virtualization platform. We've got our optimized compute and networking capability. The interesting thing across our data platform is we're not only going to provide our Alletra MP capability, we're going to provide that same data fabric capability I showed you in our AI platform here also, so you can have that data lake capability. And although we're talking VMs, because we have our runtime capability built in here, which falls under our Esmeralda product family, we technically have the ability to support virtualization, containers, and bare metal, even on our PCE platform. And again, our hybrid management and orchestration will be done with via our Morpheus acquisition. And then a lot of people don't realize, they look at Zerto as a DR backup capability. A lot of people don't realize that Zerto competed a lot with SRM, Site Recovery Manager from VMware, for data mobility. So we can use Zerto to move data and replicate data either between multiple sites like a DR site or even to the cloud. The other thing is around our observability, and I showed you some of the AI capability of OpsRamp, but if you haven't learned about it, it's something you should look into. A lot of people lack that hybrid observability across their IT estate, and in that they cannot properly manage, or they have to manage in silos from the edge to the data center to the colo to the cloud providers. And then we also provide AI optimized insights with our InfoSight product. And ladies and gentlemen, all we're trying to do is make sure that you understand that we have a plethora of options. And we kind of see this as a 3-step playbook. First, we would recommend that you run our cloud physics product, because whether you're staying on VMware or you're considering moving to our HPE virtualization solution, you can use the output from cloud physics to either right size your VM bill based on figuring out whether you're over provision or under provision on some of your VMs, as well as make sure that we set up the proper setup for you as far as what you need with our HPE virtualization platform. The other thing is around diversity. It doesn't have to be VMware or us. There are several options we can consider as we're having these discussions and figure out what might be best for you and your organizational requirements. And lastly, if organizations are interested, we can provide an all HPE virtualization stack from our servers to our storage to our management platform to for our hybrid observability with OpsRamp to our data mobility with Zerto. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that kind of concludes my presentation, and I would like to honestly open it up and see if there are any questions. No? Okay, well, Annie, I would like to turn it back over to you.
Thanks, George. Thanks, everybody, for participating today. And I will get the recording out, if not this afternoon, then later this week. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.